Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for sharing these videos with people that you love and care about. Hitting the subscribe button for me, hitting the thumbs up notification for me, and just overall, we are growing the channel in this community, so I appreciate you guys. Before I jump into today's story, I'm seeing some dynamics in the market today that I thought are very interesting. If you guys are working and not yet able to check what's been going on, but cryptocurrencies are on a tear. Bitcoin blew through 70,000, back up. I think it's over 72,000 right now as I'm recording this video. Same with Ethereum and XRP. Even the Dogecoin has received a bit of a bump in the last few days. And gold and silver, of course, for us metals people, gold put on almost $30 an ounce gain today. Silver, 70 some odd cents, something like that. Silver's in the 34.50 range. Gold is making a run to 2,800. So, leave your comment below. Why is this happening? Is the smart money waking up and moving into these alternative assets because of fear? Because of the continued inflation we have in this country, because of political uncertainty, because of geopolitical uncertainty, or do you think it's all of the above? Or is the game just up? Have people started to realize now that we are on the road to monetary collapse? Let me jump into speaking of money. There was a story that I wanted to share with you I saw from CNBC yesterday. I done a video back about a month or two ago on that issue with Chase Bank when people were depositing basically fraudulent checks into Chase Bank, and there was a glitch in their software that was allowing people to immediately withdraw or get credit on the funds deposited. As it turns out, many of those checks were fraudulent checks. They were not deposited on good funds, and therefore people were actually, if you will, they were robbing from the bank. Okay, they were taking money that didn't belong to them, and there were TikTok videos and some other videos posted on social media. People waiting in ATM lines in some of the bigger cities, laughing and thinking it was a grand party because they were actually getting away with something, that it was a monetary holiday or something, right? And I said at the time, this is not going to go away. The bank is not going to allow this to go unchecked, and there will be repercussions. So here we go. Out of CNBC, JP Morgan begins suing customers who allegedly stole thousands of dollars in infinite money glitch. It says JP Morgan has begun suing customers who allegedly stole thousands of dollars from ATMs by taking advantage of a technical glitch that allowed them to withdraw funds before a check bounced. The bank on Monday filed lawsuits in at least 3 federal courts taking aim at some of the people who withdrew the highest amounts in the so-called infinite money glitch that went viral on TikTok and other social media platforms in late August. So it's actually been a couple of months now. A Houston case, case in Houston involves a man who owes JP Morgan $290,939.47 after an unidentified accomplice deposited a counterfeit $335,000 check at the ATM, according to the bank. Then on August 29, 2024, a masked man deposited a check in defendant's Chase Bank account in the amount of $335,000, and after the check was deposited, a defendant began withdrawing funds against that deposit. He says he withdrew the vast majority of the ill-gotten funds. JP Morgan, the biggest U.S. bank by assets, is investigating thousands of possible cases related to the infinite money glitch, although it hasn't disclosed the scope of associated losses yet. Despite the waning use of paper checks, a digital form of payment gained popularity, there's still a major avenue for fraud, resulting in $26.6 billion in losses globally last year, according to NASDAQ's Global Financial Crime Report. The infinite money glitch episode highlights the risk that social media can amplify vulnerabilities discovered at a financial institution It says videos began circulating in late August showing people celebrating the withdrawal of wads of cash from Chase ATMs shortly after bad checks were deposited. And it says normally banks only make available a fraction of the value of a check until it clears, which takes several days. JP Morgan says it closed the loophole a few days after it was discovered. Other lawsuits filed on Monday are in courts including Miami and the Central District of California and involve cases where JP Morgan says customers owe the bank sums ranging from $80,000 to $141,000. Says most cases being examined by the bank are for far smaller amounts, according to people with knowledge of the situation who declined to be identified speaking about the internal investigation. But the point is here, and I'll get back to the story. Guys, there's nothing for free unless you're getting handouts from the federal government. People that, and we talked about this on that show a couple of months ago. It's just stupidity, and it's the mindset of people in this country that think, number one, they're entitled to it, and number two, that they're going to just simply walk off into the sunset. Many of them on video, on film. There's cameras at these ATM machines. Obviously, wearing a mask is not going to do you any good if you're trying to withdraw money from your own account. So again, the mindset, none of that made sense to me, other than we just have such a skewed mentality, of a lot of people in this country. And maybe it's just that the entitlement mentality is just purely taken over, as clouded people's judgment and their clarity of thinking, if that ever existed. Says in each case, JP Morgan says its security team reached out to the alleged fraudster, but it hasn't been repaid for the phony checks, in violation of the deposit agreements that customers signed when creating an account with the bank. Yeah, no kidding. Those people don't have the money to repay. They never had the money in the first place because those deposits were fraudulent deposits. JP Morgan is seeking the return of the stolen funds with interest and overdraft fees, as well as attorney's fees, and in some cases, punitive damages according to complaints. Punitive damages, if you don't know what that means, is damages that arise based upon a fraudulent, oppressive, malicious conduct. It says criminal cases, ? The lawsuits are likely to be just the start of a wave of litigation meant to force customers to repay their debts and signal broadly that the bank will not tolerate fraud, according to the people familiar with JP Morgan. And they talked about the possibility of even seeking a criminal relief, criminal retribution. Civil cases are separate from potential criminal investigations, JP Morgan says. Is also referred cases to law enforcement officials across the country. It says fraud is a crime that impacts everyone and undermines trust in the banking system, according to JP Morgan. We're pursuing these cases and actively cooperating with law enforcement to make sure if someone committed fraud against Chase and its customers, they will be held accountable. So anyway, just kind of a follow-on story from the video I did, like I said, a couple of months ago on this. And sure, as I thought, it was not going to go unnoticed, especially with the larger amounts when stupid people make themselves obviously an obvious target, an obvious spectacle. And again, we'll keep reporting on this as it unfolds. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. Let's, again, keep watch on what's happening. A lot of rhetoric picking up, a lot of debate right now over what's going to happen with the election in just a mere 7 days, 1 week from today. So, again, I appreciate all of you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.